This video is about the presser bar from top to bottom and how to remove it and replace it. Hi, this is Jeb. I want to thank you for your viewership. Thank you for coming here. I hope that when you do come here, you enjoy your time here and that it is useful to you. I always like to mention learning. I like to think that we're all learners here, regardless of which side of the camera we're on. And last but not least, as always, enjoy, keep safe, have fun. See you right now. What you're looking at is a page from the Singer service manual for the 201 series model of sewing machines. And this is the written instructions to remove and replace the presser bar. Here is the following page. It also has all the diagrams for the needle bar as well. That screw that we're looking at right there is the screw we need to undo to allow the presser bar to become free of this. This piece will eventually come right out once the needle bar is removed. And then at the top, up there is the presser bar thumb screw. So I'm going to have to release the presser bar thumb screw after I do that. So these are the two screws. I'm going to undo that one first, and then undo that one, and then take the washer, because there's a washer in there, so be careful when you start pulling this out of here. And then the spring comes off, and then the bar will come out as well. I'm hoping that will give me enough room that maybe I'm able to get in down here with a pair of pliers or something and undo that set screw on the back of the needle bar clamp. The first goal is to remove the presser bar, replace it. So without further ado, the first thing we need to do is undo the screw here. There. I didn't have to turn too hard to get it to break. I'm going to be very careful with that set screw. And now the next thing I'm going to do is go up top and undo the pressure screw. I'll call it the pressure screw for now. The pressure screw. And it's coming out of there quite nicely and smoothly. And like I mentioned before, we want to be careful because there is a washer in there. And what can I do? Oh, there goes the washer. Where'd he go? It went right down here. There's the washer there. So I'll put that in there. And then now I can take the spring out, you know. And don't be worried, this is steel. It's really, really tough. Just like the rods underneath, they're steel too. I was once, actually I was working on this machine once. And fella got all upset that I was wire brushing. Ouch, there, it's off. And now I'm able to take the presser bar right out of here. Maybe, baby. Well, maybe not. And it is a little bit sticky. It is a little bit sticky. So I'll give a little bit of oil there. And in there, we can see varnish right there. Ha! Wasn't that easy peasy? There it is. There's the presser bar. Cool. Now this should come out. And it did. Now look how much that has opened everything up. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little look and see if there's any way if I can get that set screw that is in behind here, if it will go all the way. You know what? It's loose. The damn thing is loose. Crikey, kids. Okay, that screw right, it is right there. And I want to get it out. So I'm going to put a needle in from, a screwdriver in. There, it's loose. But that's the one I needed to loosen in order to adjust this. And you can see how that is moving all like that. There, that screw's coming undone now. It fell down there. So, where's my magic magnet? So that is a set screw from that. So I'm going to put that set screw right back in there now. So I'm kind of holding on to that needle thread guide. And there's the screw. And it goes with that needle bar. Alrighty, what we're going to do is we're going to take these little parts, and I just want to point out to you that if you look at this part that came off the presser bar, I did put the set screw back in there, so that set screw should never get lost because it's right where it needs to be. So I'm going to put that in there, and there's the top pressure stud, and then the spring, and then of course we have the bar. Anyway, what I have in here is, I don't know if you can read the red scrawling there. It says 100% KK. That means 100% crud cutter. And I'm a big believer in crud cutter. The other thing I'm using is my tools for cleaning here, my cleaning tools. So I have a lot of old brushes and stuff. So there's a couple of old brushes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just take the top right off the crud cutter bottle, and I'm going to pour some into that white container. And all that stuff is under crud cutter. And I'm going to let it soak. If you look in the little white bowl here, and I'm going to aim you up good, you can already, after just like maybe a minute even, and in real time, you can already see some of the water starting to cloud down there. Not water, it's crud cutter. So, and if I put the brush in there right now, see, look at that, I didn't even put the brush in, and you can already see how that cloud of dirt and rust, and look at that, it's literally falling off. So I really have a lot of faith in crud cutter, and it's doing a bang up job. What I am going to do with this is I am going to have to paint it, so I put it in the container here, and I could even take a brush like this, an old utility paintbrush, really give it a good soaking. And you can see already the presser bar is coming out shiny. See? And it's really just coming off quite nicely. Okay, step 1 was washing these things. Step 2 is going to be washing them in soap and water. I got soap and water right down here. Put them in there, put them in there, put them in there, and let them sit for a minute. And as long as they're in water like that, and that's soap and water. I still have to go and get but the second they come out of the water, they go into the strainer, and then I become the hair dryer guy. Right on, man. I put all those parts in there, and it's noisy. So that's what's going on now. So the first step was to wash it in crud cutter. Second step is to wash it in soap and water. Third step is going to be to rinse it in the water, and then the fourth step is going to be to hair dry it so it gets really, really dry. And then the fifth step is going to lightly oil the parts that need to be oiled. And once they're oiled, we will also remove the oil that we apply so that when we're finished, the parts will be clean and they will only have the very minimum amount of oil or lubricant on them that they require. It's fine when you're cleaning stuff to drown stuff in oil and all that, but the experienced restorers, the experienced sewing machine mechanics, they make sure that well-oiled machine should actually show no trace of oil. A quick recap: the first step was to wash the parts, bathe the parts in crud cutter. So we did that. The second step is to do this: wash the parts in soapy water, and then the third step is to rinse them in clear water, plain water, right out of the tap, and then the fourth step is to dry them thoroughly with strainer and the hair dryer. After that, after the parts are dried, they will be lightly oiled, and then the oil will be wiped off
the excess oil will be, removed by wiping, and so that what we'll have is clean parts that have barely a light little film of oil to protect against varnish, rust, and other scary things. And it'll be good for decades. So I will quickly just take these out of the warm soapy water. And I like to brag about the set screw being in a safe place right where it needs to be. And here I'm just rubbing that spring between my thumb and fingers, and I don't really see a whole lot of stuff coming off there. And then we've got that, and there's some kind of wick in there. Yeah. And it's not very often I get these with an actual functioning good wick. And so I'm just going to set that aside. I'm not going to do the presser bar itself because I want to get these done, and we'll just let them rinse out like that. And then I'm going to get ready for a whole pile of noise because I'm going to get these rascals, my little friends, out of the water. Now I want to make a point here. I want to make it clear that I'm not holding onto the hairdryer that is plugged in while I'm sticking my hand in the water to remove the parts. So I just want to get that clear. And what I will do is I will put the strainer there, I will put the parts there, I will remove the clean warm water, move that over here, and I will pick up the hairdryer. And as soon as you hear about 10 seconds of hair drying, I will stop recording and I'll get back to you when I'm done. No flash rust here. And then what I do to test and make sure that they're dry is I put them on the shop towel. These do seem dry to me. That wick in there is wet. That looks real dry in there. One thing I am going to do right now, what I am going to do is I'm going to undo the screw, the set screw, and I want to stick a drop of water, not a drop of water, a drop of oil in there. So this is the next step anyway, once it's dry, is to oil it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll put that there. Where's my oil? So there's the screw. Here's the oil. It says to shake it in there. You know what the heck, I'll put some in there too. What the heck, put it on. It's got to be oiled, right? Sure. And so those are nicely done. And now I'm going to get a shop towel. Oopsie daisy. Okay, maybe I'll get 2 shop towels. Move that screwdriver out of there. Good throw, Jeb. And we'll rub some of the oil off. Just the real loose surface oil. And I'm going to get some Q-tips to go in there and try and soak up a little. Here, we'll wipe this oil off. I love oily. I know they're going to be good and safe. So that's done. There's more. I'm not going away yet. So soap and water on the bar. And we're washing off the crud cutter, right? Yes, that's correct. Now I'm going to take this, dry that soapy water, and then I'm going to move that. And now I'm drying this soapy water thing. I'm not going to rinse it in clean water because I'm wiping it. And now I'm going to get the hair dryer and I'm going to make some noise. So the presser bar is nice and dry now. And then I'm going to give it a quick oiling using the shop towel and my hands, their fingers down there that are covered in oil now. And like that. So, and there. So now we've removed the presser bar and its parts, and we've cleaned the presser bar and its parts.